Mom's call awoke me at 4 a.m. They took Nathan to the hospital, and he didn't make it, she said sweetly. What? What? Nate? No, I screamed in horror. I called the ER doctor, the same I had for my poisonous mushrooms episode, to ensure he'd done all he could to save Nate, even experimental procedures. But it was far too late for Nate. Dad drove us in silence to the hospital. Mom, Dad, and I stood in utter shock in the ER room where Nate was strapped to a board, a tube in his lifeless mouth, wearing his Red Hot Chili Peppers t-shirt and boxers, the smell of his trendy body wash permeating the semi-sterile air and our defiled minds. The family team of 4, now 3. Nate looked like an enervated but peaceful Jesus, reposing on his back after crucifying himself on a synthetic cross, a chemical car wreck. He's got clean feet, Mom observed, touching Nate's lifeless foot. He's got your tiny toenails, I pointed out. I never noticed, she exclaimed. I trimmed some of Nate's scraggly goatee laced with red iris streaks from my journal with medical scissors. Dad was a bit shocked, but said nothing. Mom worried that I was removing evidence that might help with the investigation. P.S. Mom, you worry way too much. It's bad for your health, and everyone else's. I bent to kiss my brother on the forehead, for the first and last time. Nate's girlfriend, the heroin hag, sobbing on sedatives, appearing as a grieving 5,000-year-old mummy in a department store blouse and anorexic jeans, laying in the fetal position with red, crusted eyes in her blankets on an ER gurney, attended to by her monosyllabic, soda-chugging aunts in plaid overcoats and black rubber boots caked with cow poop. It's all the sickie show, her moaning as the mildew widow when she was never the wife. She told us her mom gave Nate the methadone, seeking treatment for his problem off the record, sneaky and in the shadows. Apparently, Sickie warned Nate, Mr. Pharmaceuticals, to only take half a pill. He took several, thinking they'd be weak in smaller doses, his invincibility complex getting the best of him. Then he went out to Fat Cat's Tavern, a fresh buzz haircut, manicured chin-strap beard blending into his goatee, and all squinty-eyed smiles, playing pool and doing shots with friends, celebrating his first week back to work after a long spell of cabin fever apathy and couch-bound lethargy, celebrating his decision to get clean. Then his best friends, Mike and Ricky, gave Nate a hug goodnight, told him they loved him, and Nate walked home, high and happy, through White's Market parking lot, past the building we renovated together years ago. He and his girlfriend fought over drugs in his apartment. Nate had been greedy. She left, the smell of 2 burgers and their burnt, uneaten buns in the oven still pungent in the apartment. Nate took a shower and put on his Peppers t-shirt and boxers. He opened a can of beer, lit his last cigarette, and sat down on the couch to watch TV and eat a bowl of grapes. 2 hours later, at 3 a.m., Sickie came back to find Nate was already gone, slumped over on the couch, choking on his own after falling asleep for the final time, the death rattle of Jimi Hendrix, never seeing 30. And after years of shunning the bar, I was going to go out that night, and I could have hugged my little big brother for the last time. I couldn't take any more of the absolute BS, so I left Mom and Dad at Nate's girlfriend's ER gurney, listening to her hysterical, skeletal, malnourished mouth spin her drug lies, this pallid heroin demon's corrupted chronicle of my brother's final hours. I stood at my brother's bedside, forgetting that his spirit was still present and listening in the room, and I cursed him out for ditching the family, leaving me alone to take care of 2 sometimes difficult parents as they enter their second infancy of decomposing bodies and diapers. Nurses and dropout doctors giggled about last night's staff party at their computer station, and I wanted to slaughter them all for their egregious disrespect of my holy moments, as I only had a few minutes of retching heartache and longing before the white van came to cart my brother's body to Burlington for an autopsy. thought about doing a Jewish death watch, staying with the body until burial as a shomer, a guardian, reading him sacred text, the Tehillim, the Psalms, but I was beside myself with anger, confusion, heartache, and at the threshold of my own mortality, wondering who I would be remembered as when they strap me to the cooling board and my spirit lingers for a few hours, cognizant of everything and everyone and their feelings surrounding my vacant body, before ascending from this horrible hell we call Earth to meet my ancestors beneath the writhing pearly gates, alive and glimmering, everyone in the best shape of their existences, beings of light communicating telepathically, embracing me, and my master, all smiles, shines bright with his love light, and I am finally home, where I always belong, and never have to eat another meal alone, or cry myself to sleep, worrying about important kids trapped in adult bodies that have caused me so much goddamn misery and wasted countless good times. But I would tell my master I want to return to hell and tell all those people below that there are only two things you can take with you to heaven: love and knowledge. So work really hard on your relationships, experiences, talents, emotions, and expressions, because they will carry you through eternity when your shiny car, your expensive clothes, your fleeting flings, your crumbling shrines of narcissism and ungodly greed will only drag you down and make you feel like a whore in the end, because the material is antithetical to the spiritual, and the enlightened ones see through this illusion in order to transcend from flesh into light.